Hey guys, it's Keith Brown, Tack Room Devotional. So glad you're back. Join me again. We've been talking about husbands and wives in the home and how that relates to the church and Jesus Christ. And so we looked in Ephesians chapter 5. I'm just going to read a whole section of it real quick for you. It goes like this. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is head of the wife, as also Christ is head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. And then it goes on to say, husbands, love your wives. Even as Christ loved the church, he gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of the water of the word, that he might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own body. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes it and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. For we are members of his body and of his flesh and of his bones. And then in verse 32 says, this is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. A lot of things said there. We've talked about it over this week, but again, I want to kind of just touch a little bit on it. Husbands need to love our wives even as Christ, the wisdom and power of God, loved the church. Remember, Jesus could have called down 10,000 angels, but he didn't. Why? Because his love is so powerful towards his bride, the church, the bride of Christ, that he was willing to die for her. And notice it says, again, I'm going to kind of repeat this a little bit, that he sanctified her and then presented her to himself holy and without blemish. He did all of that. She didn't do any of it. So many of us guys think our wives should go get themselves fixed. Hey, you got a problem, go get yourself fixed. No, that's your responsibility as a husband. Now my thing is this. Wives, let's go back. What does it say? Submit to your own husband as to the Lord, right? For this to work properly, this man of God who loves the wife, even as Christ loved the church, has to have a woman that submits to that kind of authority. If he does not have a woman that submits to that, here's what the problem is. There was a whole group of people, religious people at the foot of the cross, saying to Jesus, if you are the Christ, then save yourself, come down off the cross, and then we'll believe. But Jesus knew he could not do that. But what did he look to the world? He looked weak. That's what they were saying. You're a weakling. You keep saying that. You even said you were going to rebuild the church in 3 days. You can't even save yourself. So the man of God, listen to me, women, the man of God will look very weak to you if you don't have the right understanding of spiritual things. The man of God who is dying to himself so that you can live, who's sanctifying you and washing you with the water of the word and presenting yourself to him holy and without blame, even though you may have some things that you should be blamed for. Why? He's doing what he's supposed to do as the man of God, but if you're not subjected to him, he'll appear weak to you, and this thing called a Jezebel spirit will get on you. So I'm telling you, this all works when everybody is doing exactly what they are supposed to do. Wives, you have to submit to your husband even as the church does to Christ. Same thing. Husbands, the only way you can be this man of God, loving her this much, is for her to be in subjection to you. This is the way it works. I've opened up the door to your house. We've been talking about putting on Christ. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's time that our relationships inside of our homes operate this way, with this kind of love and this kind of understanding of the word. If you have questions, I sure hope that you'll write me. Just log on to www.tackroomdevotional.com and you can contact me through there. Just remember, Jesus loves you. He proved it hanging on the cross. Jesus loves you. We love you. And we pray that God would richly bless you as you diligently seek him and serve him.